What's up, everybody? Andrew here, Disconnected Gamers, and this is going to be a commentary slash thoughts, opinions on the recent Uncharted 4 multiplayer stress test that happened this weekend at the beginning of March. So I've taken the time painstakingly to, that's a joke, cut up some clips of gameplay and kind of talk about things that I think maybe need some work, and some things that I really like, and just observations I made while playing the game. Now, I started by loading up the actual menu screen for loadouts, challenges, options, in your player thing. I have to assume this HUD is going to change at launch because it's very limited, super basic, and there's not a whole lot that you can do. You can't access the store to maybe purchase a taunt, purchase a hat, purchase a new character outfit without leaving the lobby. And if you are not the party holder, party leader, you can't either. So anyone in your party who wants to go buy a taunt or something because maybe they earned enough relics to buy, one of the little treasure chest things, they can't. So my first thought is that going to change? The second reason I left this screen up is to show you how long it takes to get into a match initially. Now, this was about 2 minutes. I believe it was like 2 minutes and 15 seconds that we went through it, but I figured this would give me time to talk about it. That said, not every match took 2 minutes. There were people on the forums, the PlayStation forums, talking about this, saying that, I couldn't get into a match. I got into 4 matches after 100 attempts. I bet you're lying. I bet it didn't take that long. And I bet you probably have not the greatest internet, and I just write you off the second you complain about that. As you'll notice, the loadout setup is more like The Last of Us than it is Uncharted. You now have the option to have boosters. You can see here Loose Change, Helping Hand, Treasure Hunter, character selection. In this particular instance, those aviators are one of the... it's considered a hat, which is weird, but it's one of the hats you can put on. Lazarevich has a hat. The militant guy had one as well. But going back to the loadouts, you have your mysticals, the Wrath of El Dorado, which is, will attack enemies. You've got the Chintamani Stone, which it'll revive anyone in the radius of it. You can choose whether you want to have a grenade as your throwable. You can have a health pack, which will revive anyone in the area of the health kit. C4, the landmines, which are the worst. And then you've got those boosters like you had in The Last of Us. So I run a lot of the time Loose Change, Helping Hand, Treasure Hunter, and then in this case I used Stealth because it makes it a little bit easier for you to kind of sneak up on enemies. But I don't run a sidekick on this particular class. I don't have a Brute or a Savior or a Hunter or the Sniper one because I don't have enough loadout points. So, Helping Hand, I think, is a must if we're talking about perks. It allows you to revive teammates faster, and we will see later in the video why reviving teammates is so important. Now, so that was a grenade throw that actually worked. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys times where grenade throws didn't work. Grenades are my biggest gripe of the beta so far. It seems like they don't exactly have the trajectory quite figured out yet. I seem to have more trouble throwing grenades than anything else in the game. It wasn't like I had issues aiming certain weapons. Recoil across the different weapons is pretty manageable. But grenades didn't seem to work out. Or mysticals were okay. There was a few times. Smoke this guy.
Help me immediately.
So reviving enemies, like, see, that's how much faster it is when you have Helping Hand. rather than having to waste all that time. And obviously, just like in The Last of Us, the more people you have helping revive you, the more quicker it will go. Favorite part about this is you can move while being revived. You couldn't do that in The Last of Us. You had to stand still. At least with this, if I want to walk behind cover with my teammate, I can do that. You know, see that grenade from a standpoint, it was fine. I was able to throw it. It went basically where I wanted it. I didn't get the kill, but, you know, and there's your hot swap weapons. You know, while you're aiming down the sights, all you have to do is hit square and it'll switch. And I think that's a nice touch. Because trying to manipulate the D-pad while aiming down the sights is going to be difficult. Here's another example of grenades that worked really well, as I was able to just drop it right over the railing. And then here we go with a mystical. Always take out the guy trying to get revived. See, he threw a mystical. And then I was thinking I could make it not too smart.
Pulitzers for this.
So here's an example of when there's a ton going on, right? So there's the sniper enemy sidekick up top. I just got hit, but if you watched 2 seconds before, there was a health kit that just got thrown. And the Wrath of El Dorado that I threw keeps getting downs and KOs from all those enemies that were there. So while some people don't like the mysticals, they really do change the game, and they certainly change the pace of games. You know, there's another grenade throw that seemingly went where I wanted it to be. However, it hit nobody. You know how that went.
I'm in the flow now.
I've yet to really master meleeing enemies, as you saw there, with the two of us running around trying to hit it. And there goes the Wrath of El Dorado again. I find that's my probably favorite mystical. When I played the closed beta, I was all about the Chintamani Stone and reviving my teammates, but in this case, I'm very much about using Helping Hand to revive my teammates, and then just using the Wrath of El Dorado, either to suppress a group of enemies, take out a group of enemies. And this is only here, this clip, because I didn't know you could hide in this corner, and I feel like that's going to be exploited at some point in the game. So that was just a point of reference. Here's a bad example of a throw. I've got my El Dorado, and it didn't make it over the barrier. Now, it's not going to hurt me, which is fine, but now I've got to go up and actually shoot enemies because its radius is not very far, so it was effectively just a waste. You know, that's such a weird arc angle that I can't, while aiming down the sights, throw the grenade up onto that ledge. That was what that clip was all about. And here's me dying. Also, it's probably not a good idea to just hang on ledges. Unless you hang from those ledges.
It's time to show them what's what.
Purchasable heavy weapons. Again, you may find that you probably don't use the heavy weapons as often as you'd like. don't feel free not to use them and to just run heavy booster perks. Run the highest rank of them and then make it so that you can go ahead and get the best situation. And the reason this clip is in here is because I had two teammates that needed to be revived, and luckily we were able to get that kill first, because otherwise it actually probably would have been a tie game and gone the other way. So that is one of the things that I made an observation to see. And the team that revives more people is usually the team that wins. Now, I took a screenshot of every single match that I played. Almost every single match. I probably missed one or two. But basically, if you are always reviving your teammates, or your teammates are always reviving you, like you will most likely have the edge. Now, this is a perfect example of the reviving in happen. So right now, the score is 10-10. And then that guy got downed. I just got a KO. I'm reviving him so they don't get a KO. He just got downed. We just got another KO. He's going to get revived. And we're back up. So we just got 3 KOs. In fact, 4 KOs. Because we just took out another 2 over on the right-hand side of this town center. There's the 5th KO. Now that would have been way different because we would have lost. We wouldn't have gained as much ground because we weren't reviving teammates. Now, in this instance, I went to revive him. Couldn't. I threw an El Dorado. I got downed. 1 down. 2 downs. 1 KO. 2 KOs. Now it's 8. Now it's there's another KO. Now it's 19-13. And look, we have 4 revives. They have 0.
Thank you kindly.
And I spawn in, and we're gonna get this revive. It's definitely mission critical. Whether or not you're playing on a team, you're playing with your friends, you're rolling solo. You have, having a microphone and not being in a party chat is definitely advised because, yell to the teammates, hey, revive me. And if they don't revive you, leave the lobby and join another game because if your teammates aren't going to help revive you, it's unlikely that you're going to win. Now, in this instance, again, it's 34-20. And this is footage from that same game. So we managed to get a 15 KO lead. But take a look. 8 revives to 2. 26 assists. We only died 21 times. Because we spent all that time getting those revives. That would have been 29. It would have been a much closer game. You've got to revive your teammates. And again, favorite part is the fact that you can move while you're reviving and move while being revived. So if we needed to inch our way behind those sandbags, we can do that. It is a really nice change of pace to the flow of the game because in The Last of Us, if somebody decided to revive you just out of cover, you're screwed. You're just going to get killed because you're stuck, in time until they revive you. And again, same reason why I love the Helping Hand booster. The faster I can revive my teammates, and the bonus of Helping Hand is that as you rank it up, you'll give your teammates more health once they're fully revived. So, you can fully revive them to have full health rather than, still being super weak or only take a few bullets to be down. So that's more or less what I was kind of going at, in the sense that people need to be paying attention to what's going on in terms of your teammates around you. Whether or not you want to steal someone's KO or you want to get that last enemy, secure the area and revive your teammates. Do not let them just die. It is not a good idea. In this case, I jumped away as my buddy jumped in. I mean, we were communicating, so it's different. But I'm covering the other angle. And then, lo and behold, that guy shows up with a rocket. And game.
Winning with qualification.
Now, if you're wondering why I'm always in first place and I always have a ton of cash, that's where Treasure Hunter and Loose Change come in. In this case, look at this match was dead even basically, 35 to 34, 4 revives each, 17 assists each. That game was super, super tight, and the short answer of that is, the more cooperative your team is, the better chance you have to win. So with that, those are some of my thoughts on Uncharted 4 multiplayer stress test. I'm really excited for this game. I hope you guys are too. If you have some opinions on the gameplay and or you guys want to team up when the game launches in May, feel free to hit me up. Leave some comments below. I'm going to be playing the heck out of this game. I hope you guys come back for the next video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks. Peace.